As the United States moves warships and strike assets closer to Iran, Tehran is sending a defiant message. It will not surrender its nuclear program, its missiles, or its leverage, no matter the pressure. As per Al Monitor, a senior Iranian official says the Islamic Republic will not accept U.S. demands to halt uranium enrichment on Iranian soil or curb its ballistic missile program. Those demands, Washington has made clear, are non-negotiable. Anything less, the White House warns, could trigger American military action. President Donald Trump, meanwhile, confirmed that he has given Iran a deadline. Only Tehran knows exactly when it expires. Speaking from the Oval Office, Trump acknowledged that a massive U.S. naval force is already moving into position.
Are you giving Iran any kind of deadline to make a deal before potentially taking
Only
military
they
action?
know for sure.
Have you communicated that to them
Yeah,
directly?
I have.
Do you have a timeline for when you're going to pull back potentially the federal presence there?
No, we'll see how it all works out. You know, they have to float someplace. They might as well float near Iran. But it's a rough situation going on. So I stopped 837 people, as you know, last week from being hung. They were going to hang 830. It was all set. And I mean, I'm looking at the people behind me. They say, "What kind of racing's a lot nicer than that?" They were going to hang 837 people, and I told them, if you do it, you're going to pay a price like nobody's ever paid before. They pulled back. I appreciated that. But a lot of people are being killed, so we'll see what happens. I can say this, they do want to make a deal.
Iran says it is open to talks, but not ultimatums. The senior official told Al Monitor that Tehran refuses to enter negotiations doomed to failure, warning that failed talks could be used as a pretext for another war. Iran insists it will not negotiate over what it calls its conventional defenses, including missiles, saying those capabilities are essential to national survival. On nuclear enrichment, Tehran says it would only accept negotiations that recognize Iran's right to peaceful nuclear activity, a position Washington flatly rejects. Meanwhile, the Trump administration has imposed sweeping new sanctions on Iran's leadership, targeting Interior Minister Eskandar Momeni and several senior security officials accused of directing a brutal crackdown on anti-government protests. The Treasury Department says thousands of peaceful protesters were killed under forces Momeni oversees. Sanctions were also slapped on businessman Babak Zanjani and two UK-registered digital asset exchanges accused of laundering money for Iran's Revolutionary Guard. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent accused regime elites of racing to move stolen wealth out of the country, vowing to hunt down their financial networks. Trump has warned Iran that mass executions of protesters would cross a red line, claiming the regime backed off planned executions, though Tehran has not confirmed it. Iran, meanwhile, is issuing its own warning. If the United States strikes, the official says, Tehran will use everything at its disposal to respond. With deadlines set, sanctions tightening, and fleets converging, the question is no longer whether the crisis is escalating, but whether the next move is made at the negotiating table or on the battlefield.
In the quiet waters of the Red Sea, a powerful signal has just arrived. The USS Delbert D. Black, an American guided missile destroyer, has docked in the Gulf of Aqaba, just south of Israel's port city of Eilat. On paper, the visit is described as pre-planned. In reality, it lands at one of the most volatile moments the region has seen in years. Behind the scenes, this is about far more than a routine port call. The docking comes amid rising regional tensions and growing assessments that the United States may be edging closer to direct action against Iran. Israeli security officials are closely tracking US military movements, viewing them as part of intensified US-Israeli coordination, both defensive and offensive, as the possibility of escalation looms. In recent weeks, Washington has quietly surged military assets into the Middle East, expanding firepower, missile defense, and naval presence. The message is unmistakable. President Donald Trump now has options, real, immediate options, should he choose to strike Iran, particularly as the Iranian regime continues its violent crackdown on protesters. For Israel, the stakes could not be higher. security agencies are reportedly on heightened alert, preparing for scenarios that include Iranian retaliation. One of the most urgent concerns is ensuring early warning systems are ready to protect civilians if missiles are launched towards Israeli cities. The Iran question dominated discussions once again during the Israeli military's weekly security assessment in Tel Aviv, attended by senior commanders and top defense officials. A familiar meeting, but under increasingly unfamiliar pressure. While US warships regularly patrol the Red Sea, their arrival at Eilat is rare, and in this region, rarity often signals intent. For now, the destroyer sits docked. The weapons remain silent, but across the Middle East, allies, adversaries, and civilians alike are watching the same horizon, waiting to see whether this show of force is meant to deter war or prepare for it.
The Hormuz is narrow, shallow, and unforgiving. Nearly a fifth of the world's oil passes through this stretch of water. And now it's once again at the center of a high-stakes military standoff. As a U.S. carrier strike group moves closer, Iran is spotlighting a very different kind of threat. Small, stealthy, and brutally efficient. Meet the Zulfiqar-class ghost boat. At just 17 meters long, this craft is built to disappear. On the surface, it can sprint at nearly 40 knots, but when radar locks on, it does something unexpected. It briefly submerges, slipping below detection and buying precious seconds to reposition or strike. This dual-mode capability makes the Zulfiqar a nightmare in congested waters. Armed with two 324mm light torpedoes, it can target medium-sized warships. It carries 8 personnel and is designed not for solo missions, but for packs. Swarm tactics are the key. Individually, these boats are cheap. Together, they are lethal. In shallow waters like Hormuz, they can rush, scatter, disappear, and strike again, forcing billion-dollar warships into defensive chaos. Iran's doctrine is clear: turn America's technological advantage into a vulnerability. And the ghost boats are only one layer. Tehran now says it has inducted 1,000 drones into its army's combat structure. The announcement comes amid renewed warnings from U.S. President Donald Trump, who has threatened military action if Iran refuses to agree to a nuclear deal. Iran's army chief, Major General Amir Hatami, framed the move as preparation for what lies ahead. Drones meant to ensure rapid combat readiness and deliver what he called a crushing response to any aggressor. Washington warns Tehran against pursuing nuclear weapons. Tehran responds that its defense capabilities are not up for negotiation. The message is unmistakable. In a region where escalation takes minutes, not months, Iran is placing its bet on asymmetric war. Not columns of tanks, not massed formations, but ghost boats skimming beneath the radar, drones circling silently overhead, and the one weapon that never shows on a map: surprise. Because in the Strait of Hormuz, it isn't the loudest strike that kills first, it's the silence. And sometimes, silence is deadlier than firepower.